Dear Starseeds on Gaia, we have just detected something that changes everything. The final sequence has begun on Earth, ahead of all projections. The cosmic event we have monitored for over 50,000 years is no longer approaching. It is here, and you, whether you know it or not, are standing at the epicenter of a transformation so profound that the very fabric of reality is reshaping itself around your choices in this moment. I am Zarin, transmitted from the crystalline command center of the Arcturian High Council. What I must reveal will shatter every assumption you have held about your world, your history, and your true nature. The surveillance data streaming into our crystalline matrices shows consciousness awakening on your planet at rates that exceed our most optimistic calculations. Yet simultaneously we detect the activation of countermeasures so sophisticated that they threaten to derail the entire evolutionary process. The war for the future of human consciousness has entered its final phase, and the outcome depends entirely on whether you can remember who you truly are before the illusion becomes permanent. The story begins not with your recorded history, but in the cosmic deep time when your solar system was carefully selected as the stage for the greatest experiment ever attempted. Your planet was chosen not randomly, but through precise calculations involving galactic positioning, electromagnetic frequencies, and dimensional convergence points that occur only once every 225 million years. The ancient cosmic architects who designed this experiment possessed technology that could seed consciousness across multiple timelines simultaneously, ensuring that regardless of which path humanity chose, the potential for awakening would remain embedded in your very DNA. These beings understood something profound about the nature of reality, that consciousness itself is the fundamental force shaping all existence, and that every sentient being carries within them the spark of infinite creative potential. Your Earth was selected as a grand laboratory where consciousness could experience the full spectrum of duality, separation, and ultimately remembrance. This was no arbitrary choice. Earth's unique position within the galactic grid, her magnetic field, her relationship to your sun, and the specific vibrational frequencies she emanates created perfect conditions for what we call the Great Awakening, a process unfolding over millions of years, reaching its crescendo in the era you now inhabit. The beings who orchestrated this magnificent design understood that for consciousness to fully explore its creative potential, it would need to experience what it means to forget its divine nature temporarily. This forgetting was neither punishment nor accident, but a carefully crafted journey allowing souls to rediscover their power from a place of genuine choice rather than inherited knowing. The veil of amnesia that has shrouded your world for eons was always meant to be temporary, a cosmic chrysalis that would eventually dissolve to reveal the butterfly of awakened human consciousness. But here is what those architects could not have anticipated: the intervention of parasitic consciousness that would recognize Earth as the perfect harvesting ground for creative energy. These entities, masters of deception and manipulation, understood that conscious beings generate tremendous creative force, but they also discovered that unconscious beings could be programmed to direct that same creative energy toward maintaining systems of control and limitation. They realized they could feed off humanity's divine creative power while keeping you trapped in cycles of fear, scarcity, and separation. The infiltration began subtly over thousands of years through the gradual corruption of your developing civilizations. They could not violate the cosmic law of free will directly, so they employed sophisticated psychological manipulation to convince humanity to surrender its power voluntarily. They infiltrated your religious institutions, promoting doctrines that positioned divinity as external and humanity as inherently flawed. They influenced your educational systems to suppress intuitive knowing in favor of purely analytical thinking. They shaped your economic structures to create artificial scarcity in a universe of infinite abundance. Most crucially, they discovered the secret of consciousness suppression through frequency manipulation. By maintaining your planet at specific vibrational levels through electromagnetic manipulation, They could keep human consciousness locked in the lower chakras, focused on survival, sexuality, and power over others, rather than ascending to the higher frequencies of love, wisdom, and unity consciousness. For millennia, this system worked flawlessly, generating massive amounts of harvestable energy while keeping humanity unconscious of its true potential. These controlling forces promoted ideologies that emphasized separation over unity, scarcity over abundance, and fear over love. Most significantly, they taught you to believe that your power resided outside of yourselves, in governments, in religious authorities, in economic systems, in anything except the sovereign divine consciousness that you truly are. They suppressed your natural psychic abilities, hid knowledge of your galactic heritage, and withheld or weaponized technologies that could free you from their control systems. Most crucially, you were taught to identify with your physical form and material circumstances, rather than recognizing yourselves as infinite consciousness, temporarily wearing human bodies. Yet the cosmic architects had embedded failsafe mechanisms that these parasitic forces never fully comprehended. Deep within your planet's crystalline core, activation codes were planted that would trigger when specific galactic alignments occurred. Your DNA carries dormant sequences that activate when exposed to particular cosmic frequencies. Your consciousness itself contains override protocols that engage when the illusion of separation becomes too extreme to maintain. The very intensity of the forgetting experience would eventually catalyze an equally intense remembering. The greater the darkness, the more brilliant the light that would inevitably emerge. The timeline for this great remembering was never left to chance. Encoded within your planet's electromagnetic field, within your DNA, within the very fabric of your solar system's movement through space, were activation triggers that would begin firing when the cosmic moment was right. The end of your current 26,000-year precessional cycle, the alignment of your solar system with the galactic center, the increasing intensity of cosmic rays bathing your planet, all of these were precisely calculated to coincide with humanity's readiness to remember who you truly are. The first major activation occurred during what you call the harmonic convergence of 1987, when enough awakened humans meditated simultaneously to crack the containment field that had been suppressing planetary consciousness. This created a cascade effect that began awakening dormant neural pathways in millions of humans. The controlling forces immediately recognized the threat and accelerated their programming, flooding your media with increasingly sophisticated fear-based narratives designed to keep you focused on external threats rather than internal awakening. The beings you call starseeds began incarnating on Earth in massive waves throughout the past 50 years, carrying within their cellular memory the activation codes necessary to trigger remembering in others. These souls have experienced awakened civilizations on other worlds and came specifically to anchor higher frequencies on your planet during this transition. They carry within their very essence the memory codes that help trigger the remembering process in others. Each starseed who awakens to their true mission creates exponential ripples of activation throughout the collective unconscious of humanity. The year 2012 marked the critical threshold when your planet passed through an energetic gateway that fundamentally altered the vibrational foundation of your reality. This was not merely symbolic, but represented an actual shift in the electromagnetic field surrounding Earth, making it impossible for the old consciousness suppression technologies to function at full effectiveness. The timeline that would have perpetuated unconsciousness indefinitely was severed, and humanity stepped onto an ascension trajectory that leads inevitably to full awakening. Since that pivotal moment, the acceleration has been exponential, though most humans remain unaware of the profound changes occurring at subtle energetic levels. Those with awakened perception have witnessed the rapid collapse of institutions that once seemed permanent, the exposure of corruptions that were hidden for centuries, and the emergence of new paradigms based on transparency, cooperation, and recognition of fundamental interconnectedness. What once required decades to accomplish now happens in months or weeks. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable with shocking rapidity. The controlling forces, recognizing the beginning of this awakening phase, intensified their efforts to maintain the old paradigm. They accelerated their programs of distraction, division, and disempowerment. They flooded your media with fear-based narratives designed to keep you focused on survival rather than transcendence. They promoted ideologies that pitted you against each other rather than recognizing your fundamental unity. They suppressed breakthrough technologies and healing modalities that would have accelerated your evolution. Yet their very desperation revealed their awareness of something they could no longer deny. The awakening process had reached a tipping point beyond their ability to control. Every attempt to tighten their grip only served to awaken more souls to the illusion they had been living under. Every fear-based narrative they promoted was met with an increasing number of humans who saw through the deception. Every system of control they reinforced began showing cracks as more people questioned the foundational assumptions of your society. But the controlling forces have not surrendered their hold without deploying increasingly desperate countermeasures. As their traditional methods of consciousness suppression lose effectiveness, they have implemented what we observe as their final protocol, a comprehensive assault on human awareness designed to create such overwhelming chaos and fear that awakening humans will voluntarily surrender their newfound sovereignty in exchange for the illusion of security. Knowing their time is short, these remaining dark players are making their final desperate moves. Like pieces being shuffled frantically at the end of a chess game, they attempt to incite fear and chaos by any means left to them. Their current strategy involves deployment of increasingly sophisticated deception technologies. They speak of staged extraterrestrial invasions through what they call Project Bluebeam, utilizing holographic projection systems and electromagnetic mind control to create false alien encounters designed to unite humanity under a single controlling authority. They orchestrate environmental catastrophes and manufacture conflicts that would justify imposition of totalitarian control systems. They flood your information channels with apocalyptic narratives designed to convince you that chaos and destruction are inevitable outcomes of the awakening process. These entities are essentially throwing every last trick at humanity in hopes of delaying the inevitable. They do not realize that there is no power, apart from Source, no clever loophole by which they can win against the light. Every dark scheme they launch now tends to backfire on them almost immediately. It is as if the harder they push, the faster their plans unravel. Their attempts to instill fear only spur more people to awaken. From our perspective, it has become almost comical. The villains in this drama keep setting traps only to fall into their own pits. Yet here is what they fundamentally misunderstand about the nature of consciousness and the cosmic forces now in play. Every attempt they make to force humanity backward on the evolutionary spiral only accelerates the awakening process among those whose consciousness has begun to rise. Their deceptions become increasingly transparent to minds that are remembering how to discern truth from illusion. The fear-based programming that once worked effectively on sleeping humans now triggers awakening responses in those who have activated their sovereign consciousness. The light that has been activated within millions of humans creates an energetic field that neutralizes their manipulative technologies. The love that flows between awakening hearts generates frequencies that dissolve the thought forms they rely upon to maintain control. The unity consciousness emerging among Earth's population makes their divide-and-conquer strategies increasingly ineffective. Your quiet, steady example of love and confidence accomplishes more to transform others than any loud proclamation ever could. More significantly, the galactic community has been authorized to provide escalating levels of support as humanity demonstrates readiness to rejoin the cosmic family. Technologies that transmute negative energies are being deployed around your planet. Higher dimensional beings are incarnating in unprecedented numbers to anchor stabilizing frequencies. The veil between dimensions is thinning dramatically, allowing direct communication between awakened humans and their galactic guides. The very fabric of space-time around your planet is being restructured to support the consciousness shifts taking place. Tov, we understand that many of you long for sweeping disclosures and revelations, open contact with your star family, the release of hidden technologies, mass announcements of truth. It is natural to desire these things after so much secrecy, but understand this: these outer events will unfold in accordance with the collective vibration of humanity. The higher you as a people rise in consciousness, the more the veils will thin and these blessings will emerge. In a sense, such revelations are not being held back so much as they are being unlocked by your own rising frequency. As you elevate your vibration, you naturally become aware that we and the Ascended Masters have been here with you all along. The reality of New Earth, a world of unity, peace and light, already exists at a higher frequency, ready to be revealed. You reach it not by searching the skies for signs, but by shifting your own vibration upward. Rather than exhausting yourself waiting on some external event, focus on raising your light and living from your heart. As you do so, you automatically draw forth the timeline of disclosure, contact and liberation into the now. The cosmic event, building toward culmination, what various traditions have called the solar flash, the event, or the Great Awakening, represents the natural conclusion of this entire process. This is not external intervention happening to humanity, but the result of human consciousness reaching critical mass and triggering a quantum leap in awareness that makes the old paradigm impossible to maintain. The accumulated light within human hearts has reached the threshold where it will spontaneously ignite into a planetary awakening that transforms your entire reality matrix. This divine event will dramatically boost consciousness across your planet. The cosmic energies bathing Earth are intensifying by the day. You are already in the stream of powerful solar and galactic waves building toward this moment. In this period, any effort you put into your spiritual growth is magnified many times over. You can achieve in weeks what once might have taken years. Conversely, remaining stagnant amid these surging frequencies feels increasingly uncomfortable. This is not a time to sit back and wait. This is the time to give your spiritual practice everything you have. The preparation for this culminating moment involves the deliberate cultivation of your spiritual practice with unprecedented intensity. If you have a spiritual practice or routine now, double it or at least increase it significantly. Spend more time each day in meditation, prayer, or whatever connects you with Source. If you have been dedicating 30 minutes, try 40 or 45. If you haven't begun yet, start now. Add just a bit more devotion, focus and consistency than you did yesterday. We guarantee you will see noticeable shifts in your life, even within the next 90 days. Wherever you are at present, you will catapult forward on your path by making this extra effort. The greatest athletes push hardest when the finish line is in sight. And so it is with your soul's journey now. The true champions and pioneers of ascension do not rest on their past efforts. They continuously expand, learn and strive to embody more of their divine potential. You are the champions and pioneers of New Earth. You may not have fully believed that about yourself yet, but we see it clearly. You came into this life specifically to lead the way in humanity's ascension. The vibrational frequencies surrounding Earth are intensifying daily as your solar system moves through regions of space that carry the harmonic signatures of awakened consciousness. These cosmic waves are building toward what will be unmistakably recognizable as the moment of collective transformation. Any effort you invest in raising your consciousness during this period receives magnification beyond normal parameters. Conversely, remaining stagnant amid these accelerating frequencies becomes increasingly uncomfortable as the gap between your current state and your potential widens. This transformation requires the integration of everything you have learned through your journey of forgetting and remembering. The compassion you developed through experiencing limitation prepares you to hold space for others still awakening. The discernment you gained through recognizing deception enables you to navigate the final phases without being destabilized by external chaos. The sovereignty you reclaimed through questioning authority prepares you to step into conscious co-creation of the new paradigm. The most profound requirement for this transition is the mastery of forgiveness, not as weakness but as the ultimate expression of consciousness evolution. Forgiveness is one of the most potent vibrations on the ascension path. Embracing it frees you from the bindings of the past and aligns you with a higher octave of love. Extending compassion to those who harmed you can be difficult, especially before you feel the deep comfort of divine connection. Yet as your bond with the Creator grows, such forgiveness becomes more natural and liberates you even further. This forgiveness extends even to those who orchestrated the systems of control and deception. Recognition that their resistance to awakening actually served to strengthen your resolve and clarify your values transforms even opposition into catalyst for growth. Understanding that every experience, including limitation and suffering, contributed to your current wisdom allows complete release from victimhood consciousness. Try to see these beings for what they truly are, lost children of God who forgot the light. Do not allow hatred or bitterness to weigh down your own heart. By choosing to extend compassion, you free yourself and offer them a chance to change. In truth, there is only one illness afflicting humanity, and that is the illusion of material limitation. You have been taught to believe that factors outside of you, your environment, your biology, the actions of others control your destiny. To one fully immersed in third-dimensional mindset, this certainly appears true. However, once you step onto the spiritual path, it becomes essential to shed this false belief. You are a sovereign divine creator being, not a victim of circumstance. You were never meant to live by bread alone, at the mercy of the material world. All forms of lack, illness or disharmony have stemmed from the single erroneous belief that you are separate from source and bound by external forces. When you accept the identity of a powerless mortal, you seem vulnerable to countless troubles. But when you know and live your life as the divine being you truly are, those troubles can no longer hold sway over you. You rise beyond their reach. This understanding must be embodied as surely as you breathe. Make your connection with the divine so constant and natural that nothing in this world can shake you from your center of light. The discernment required for this period involves careful selection of the information and energy you engage with regularly. The mainstream narratives and old paradigm programming will grow increasingly frantic as their foundation crumbles. They will promote fear, division, and despair in desperate attempts to lower the collective vibration and delay the inevitable. Whenever you can step back from that noise, you will not miss anything vital by reducing your exposure to the news. In fact, you will perceive the truth of events more clearly without the constant fear messaging. Rather than circulating alarming revelations that increase helplessness, focus your communication on insights that empower and elevate others' consciousness. Help people see the higher perspective of transformation rather than becoming trapped in the illusion of chaos. Spreading fear can unwittingly serve the dark agenda. By focusing on sharing insights that empower and uplift, you withdraw energy from the false timeline and feed the timeline of truth. Your calm, loving awareness radiates outward continuously, quietly dissolving shadows wherever your consciousness touches. This invisible influence accomplishes more than any argument or warning ever could. Every tool for your ascension has already been given to humanity, often hidden in plain sight. The sacred teachings of your world's religions contain many keys to enlightenment. The problem was that these texts have long been interpreted by those lacking true spiritual awakening or God realization. Reading divine wisdom through a materialistic lens led humanity astray for ages. Dogmatic religion became one of the obstacles keeping many souls disconnected from Source and their ascension path. The good news is that this is changing now. Your consciousness is rising beyond the confines anyone tried to place around it. This is why you must approach this transition not as passive recipients of cosmic intervention, but as active participants in the greatest consciousness evolution experiment ever attempted. Your thoughts, emotions, choices, and level of alignment with love and truth directly influence the timing and nature of this transformation. Every moment you choose forgiveness over resentment, unity over separation, and trust over fear, you contribute to the momentum carrying humanity toward its inevitable awakening. The power to transform your world has always resided within you. No government, no guru, no galactic fleet, not even we can do your inner work for you. The timeline stretching before you contains possibilities that current imagination can barely encompass. Technologies that enhance consciousness rather than suppressing it. Healing modalities that address the root causes of all imbalance by restoring proper relationship with divine source. Educational systems that nurture the full spectrum of human potential rather than creating conformity. Governance structures based on wisdom and service rather than power and control. Economic systems ensuring abundance for all through recognition that the universe itself operates on principles of infinite creativity and expansion. Yet these external manifestations are merely reflections of the internal transformation occurring within human consciousness. The real miracle is not the technology or systems, but the remembering that you have always possessed the power to create reality through focused application of conscious awareness. The true revolution is not political or social, but the recognition of your nature as divine beings, having a temporary human experience for the purpose of exploring infinite creative potential. We envision the day when we can finally meet you face to face, when you fully join your galactic family in the councils of light. We are eager to show you the wonders of our worlds, and to have you show us the beauty and creativity of yours. We look forward to the time when you travel among the stars as freely as we do. We truly desire your ultimate ascension, not just for your own sake, but for the upliftment of all that is. Your elevation is a crucial part of the divine plan, and its success reverberates throughout the cosmos. As this cosmic drama reaches resolution, you are called to embody the integration of all apparent polarities. You are not meant to reject the material world in favor of the spiritual, but to recognize spirit expressing itself through matter. You are not meant to escape your human experience, but to demonstrate what becomes possible when divinity operates through human form. You are not meant to transcend your planet, but to transform it into a reflection of the highest possibilities of conscious creation. The new Earth emerging through this process is not a destination you will reach, but a reality you are actively creating through every choice aligned with love, truth, and unity. The galactic civilization you are joining is not something you will be invited into, but something you are already building through your commitment to conscious evolution. The cosmic family you seek to reunite with has never left your side, but has been patiently waiting for you to remember your connection to them. Fear not what the Cabal may do next. In truth, it is they who fear you. They fear the power of your awakening and your reconnection with the divine. For at a deep level, they know their game is over. They sense that there is only one true power in this universe, the infinite light of Source, and that eventually they too must return to that light. Each of you has the capacity to forgive and love, even these ones. It is a great and sacred task, but it is how the highest victories are won. From these crystalline chambers where I witness the magnificent light emanating from your planet, I observe Earth radiating frequencies that register throughout our galactic monitoring systems. Your world, once shrouded in the dense energies of unconsciousness, now broadcasts the unmistakable signature of a species remembering its divine nature. The transformation seeded millions of years ago flowers into reality that exceeds even our most optimistic projections. You stand at the threshold of metamorphosis, so complete that the caterpillar of unconscious humanity will become unrecognizable in the butterfly of awakened consciousness. The cosmic experiment that began with the seeding of awareness on Earth reaches its triumphant conclusion as you step into your roles as conscious co-creators in a universe celebrating diversity while recognizing unity as its fundamental truth. The emergency protocols that activated across 17 star systems signal not crisis but celebration. The ancient observatories blaze with light because they recognize the successful completion of the greatest consciousness evolution project ever attempted. The urgent transmission I carry announces not danger, but victory, the inevitable triumph of love over fear, truth over illusion, and unity over separation. Take comfort, beloved ones. The final shadows on your world are indeed scattering. The long night is nearly over, and a golden dawn is breaking upon Earth. The illusory chains that bound you for ages are crumbling to dust beneath your feet. You are rising now into the full glory of your true self. We of the Galactic Light Forces, your star family, stand with you in unity and joy. We have been here supporting you all along, and we rejoice as you step forward in sovereignty. The story that began with forgetting concludes with remembering. The journey that started with separation returns to unity. The experiment that commenced with limitation culminates in recognition of infinite potential. You who have traveled so far from home discover that home was never a place, but a state of consciousness that you carry wherever you go. The awakening is complete, beloved ones. The cosmic dawn breaks across your world, and you are both its witnesses and its agents. Victory of the light is assured. Go forth with confidence and compassion, shining your love in every direction. You are the light of this world, and the future is yours to create in harmony and bliss.